Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome into 6 p.m. in Lincoln with former Nebraska linebacker Chris Kolarevic.
Intercepted. Ball game over. Picked off by Chris Kolarevic.
This is 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket, TicketFM.com.
All right, and we're live. My mic working? Everything good? All right, Sterling, can you hear me? Check in, testing. Is he talking right now? Can you hear me? I can't see the video.
Chris.
I'll turn him down. I got some audio.
Yeah, we can hear him, but I don't think he can hear you. So.
You can't hear me?
No. We'll work on it. Like, I'll turn him down.
I hear some low talking from him. Maybe.
I think he's just because he can. I don't know if he can hear us, but
he can hear us. Can we hear him?
He's playing some music.
He's playing.
We'll keep working on the connection. Yeah, go ahead and open up.
All right, sounds good. I'll just give
testing
today in Lincoln, Nebraska, about 80 and sunny. Just drove down here. We have a great guest on the show today. Somebody that post his football career is doing ministry work. He's a preacher, and he's preaching the good word of the Lord. He's an O lineman. He played at SMU back in the day, and then went on to get drafted and play in the NFL, played for the Browns, and I believe one other team. And I'm excited to have him share his story. I'm excited for him to share his wisdom. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of ups and downs and lived a lot of life, and I'm excited to get him on here. You can hear me now?
Hey, Chris,
I think so. Can you hear us, Sterling?
Oh, there you go. I just heard him.
Hey, Chris, you good? You good?
I'm good now. I can hear you.
All right. Hold on.
How you doing?
There's a little bit of an echo. Hold on a second.
All right. Oh, he's got the whole podcast studio set up.
Okay. Is there an echo? There is still an echo.
Yeah, his might look a little better than ours. Look at that. Look at that studio.
Good. Yeah.
Look at that studio. Okay, I see him talking.
Can you hear me now, Chris?
Barely.
That's weird.
I could try turning my volume up.
I think he had less of an echo before.
And you guys can you guys hear me now?
Oh, now we're good. Now I can hear you crystal clear. We're good to go.
Good.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Are you guys hearing an echo? I'm hearing an echo right now on the.
I don't hear any echo, but it's a little bit quiet on my end. I can hear you.
It's super weird. Why is it doing that? How about now? Echo
Same.
at all now? Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Chris, now?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. It's super weird. I'm not sure why it's echoing, but on my end of things, I can hear my own self, which is kind of strange.
Oh, very weird.
But as long as you guys don't hear an echo on your end, we're Gucci.
All right, sounds good. Is the audio pretty good, or?
It's workable for now. We'll try during the next break.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, it's just a little quiet on your end.
It's a little quiet. I don't even know why that would happen.
Yeah, we can't hear you real well. It's a little bit quiet.
Audio.
Oh, it's getting better.
Okay, I hear you guys perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's just got a little bit of echo.
Interesting.
You're still hearing the echo right now?
Yeah. But maybe try again.
And you're still hearing it now?
No, much better. Now we're going. Now we can go from here. You can hear us.
Hear me now?
Yep. We're good now?
Yep.
But I couldn't hear you. That was the problem.
Oh.
I think we're all good now.
He can hear us though. So we're working on it.
He can hear us right now? Or no?
I can hear you perfectly fine. There's still an echo. Now there's not an echo.
Okay.
We're good. I can't hear you guys.
All right. Well,
fantastic.
Let me see.
Sorry for the technical difficulties to everybody listening. How's life, man? How you doing?
Okay, we're good.
We're good. I think we're good now. How's things going? I don't know if we're good. I don't know if you can hear me.
Now we lost him.
We're struggling.
Yeah, now we can't hear him.
We can't hear him at all.
No. See if
Wow.
we can unmute himself here. But yeah, we'll continue to work with that. How was your week, Chris?
So my week, I had an interesting week. We over at Iowa Western, the kids just got on campus. So we're starting workouts. We're starting to get everybody integrated into the program. I'm kind of getting in that swing of football again. I'm kind of getting in that mode where I'm kind of zeroing in on that's the thing that matters right now. Off season, took last season off of football, and a lot of other. I was working on a lot of other things. Vision was very wide. Now it feels like, okay, we're narrowed in on let's go win a national championship at Iowa Western. Let's work with these kids and help them become the best versions of themselves as players, as humans possible. And we got some great kids over there. It's been really fun. It's been fun to see from the other side, the coaching side, how kids have to come in and kind of get integrated into the program and see, all right, who was in shape, who wasn't in shape. We started running some gassers this week. Some kids struggled. But yeah, we got fall camp coming up. I guess I'll just speak on, my experience with fall camp. I didn't really have a plan for the show because I was planning on having Sterling on, but I'll just talk about, if any of the kids are listening, maybe they could take something from it. But you go into this fall camp and it's going to be all day, every day. Like people that haven't played football, it is really grueling. And it's honestly really grueling mentally because you're physically tired. You don't want to get up at 5 a.m. and then work till 7 o'clock at night watching film and practicing and walking through. And it really weeds out who's there to really be there and who really doesn't want to be there because it's so grueling mentally. You're up at 5 a.m, you practice, and then you go watch film of the practice, and then you got to get a lift in, and then you got to go do a walkthrough, and you got to go to another meeting, and then you eat some dinner, and you go to another meeting. And it's an all day thing where it's very challenging to stay mentally focused the whole time. It's really challenging to not only stay mentally focused, but you're getting integrated into a whole new community of people, a whole new group of people that you've never really met before, that you've never really spoken to before. And these guys, when you go through a fall camp together, you end up getting close, but it really pushes you out of your comfort zone, especially when you've grown up in the same environment your whole life. You've grown up with your parents in your same school, and it pushes you to have to get to know different types of people, have to honestly drop your own ego at times to be a part of a team, to be a part of a whole unit that has to work together. And that's where I've kind of been focusing on is how do we get everybody to play as a unit? How do we get it? Because even at a JUCO, it's somewhat challenging because they only have 2 years to play there. So it's somewhat challenging at times to bring everybody together because ultimately, like everybody there is out there for themselves. Like they want to go get a bigger offer. They want to go to a bigger school. And that's a challenging thing to work with to get everybody to play on the same team and towards the same goal. So it's really getting everybody on the same page and having that vision for, okay, if the team does well, that helps you out. And I think getting kids to see that, oh, if we go win a national championship, there's going to be a lot more exposure for you. That national championship game is going to get watched by a lot of people. How do we make it there so that then everybody else can rise with it? Like a rising tide lifts all boats. So when you get in, it's important to get to know kind of the lay of the land, your teammates, and be able to be flexible, be able to work with a changing environment, be able to kind of adapt quickly. And that's a huge part of being a great football player is the ability to adapt to different environments. Bring your own self, your own style, the way you do things, bring that with you. But it's also about adapting to those environments, being a part of the team, playing the role that's put there for you. Because it is like, again, you grow up, like personally, I grew up in Traverse City, Michigan. Traverse City, Michigan is, it's a small town, but it's decently known as a tourist town. It's a beach town, and it's kind of its own little bubble. And I grew up around a lot of the same types of people. Didn't understand how to really connect and get to know a lot of different types of human beings. And when you go to a new football team, and I did it 4 times, when you go to a new football team, it takes some time, especially when you're young and you haven't experienced different personalities, different backgrounds, to number 1, have a sense of self of who you are, and number 2, figure out how to integrate yourself into the team and be a part of that. And what really helps is getting to know guys from different backgrounds, sitting down and having a conversation with them, asking, "Hey, how was it where you grew up? How was it where you grew up?" Because it just the way people were brought up, it differs so much between different people that when you can have those type of conversations, it gives you a huge different perspective. It gives you this massively different perspective on the way that people grew up, and that when you can do that with all your teammates and a team can do that and be close like that and understand each other and understand, okay, what makes this person tick? Why is this person here? What is this person doing this for? Because ultimately football is a very challenging sport. It's a very hard thing to get up and do every day, where you put the pads on and you got to go hit people and you got to go through grueling workouts, and it's a challenging sport to mentally keep pushing yourself to do. And everybody's got their own reasons for doing it. And I think as a coach, it's my responsibility and a coach's responsibility to kind of understand those reasons for why a kid is doing the sport. Why is he getting up at 6 a.m. to go hit people at practice? Like, why does he want to do that? Is it he just wants to do it for his family? Does he want to make money? Like, what is it about the sport that draws him to it? Why is he here? And then kind of using that why to motivate, because it's very challenging when you get in those dog days of fall camp. You get in that week 3, week 4, and then even you get to week 7 of the season where you got to take an 8-hour road trip and you're tired and you're sore and your knees messed up because you tweaked it 2 weeks ago and it still hurts. When you're struggling, like, that's when you have to bring out that why. That why am I here? What am I doing this for? What is my purpose? And for a lot of guys, it's family. A lot of guys, it's to make their family proud. A lot of guys, it's, they want to make money, whatever it is. It's bringing that out and kind of having that thing to fall back on of what am I here for? And as a team, you kind of have your own, you kind of have your individual things that people want. You kind of have those individual, everybody wants what they want, but then you also have to have a team, what we want. And what we want is to win a championship. What we want is to be a great team. What we want is to make a legacy as having a great team and have that thing that gets the ring, that we all came together and we can share stories, whatever, 10, 20 years from now about that team, that it was a great team. So it's like every morning when you wake up, it's just continuing to push yourself to keep going, because a lot of it is just, you just have to show up the same and show up consistently every day. And it's very challenging to do. It's hard when you're in week 3 of fall camp and you're 3rd on the depth chart. You don't even know if you're going to play, and you got a hammy that's bothering you, and you're 1,000 miles from home and anybody you ever knew. It's hard to keep getting up. It's hard to have that why of why am I doing this? And it really separates, that fall camp really separates who's there for small reasons and who's there for big reasons. If you got a big why, if you got a reason for doing it that's really deep, that you're willing to go through all this for, it's going to show. It's going to show in that week 3. It's going to show in that week 4. And yeah, I get fired up about this stuff because I lived and breathed this. I've lived and breathed this for a long time, and I'm kind of getting back into it. And this is probably, this might be the most excited I've been for a season, just because this is last year was the first season of football that I wasn't even around the sport since I was, I don't know, 5 years old. Like, literally grew up around the sport, playing it every year. What's funny is your body kind of gets into a rhythm of football. It gets into a rhythm of, okay, we got the off season, we got the up down, we got the kind of the season of it, where during the season you're really focused, really intense. Everything's about football, all ball, all the time. And then off season, you get that time to recover, lick your wounds, relax, get right. And you get really used to that cycle of things, that swing of things. And one thing I guess I'll speak on now is, when you get done with it and you try to transition into something else, something that's more consistent, something like maybe a 9-to-5 job or whatever it is, where you have to be more consistent throughout the year. I noticed last year it was really challenging. Like August rolled around and my body naturally was revving up to go play football. And I'm like getting all a little bit angry, a little bit aggressive, because my body is telling myself, hey, let's go play some football right now. Let's go play some football. And then, you go through August, September, and then you're not playing, or you're not coaching, or you're not around the game, and your body's like very confused. Like your mind is confused just because you're so used to doing it for so long. So I think that's why a lot of guys struggle after they're done with playing the sport, because you have all this energy that's built up, and you build it up in the off season. You kind of build up that energy. You build up, get extra sleep. You do a lot of recovery. You get your mind right. You get your body right. And you kind of build up this energy to then release it during the season and get rid of all this energy. And then when you don't have that release, when you don't have that thing that you can put your energy into, you kind of get trapped a little bit. You get trapped inside your own mind and head. And I think it takes guys a year or two to navigate how to manage that energy, how to manage that cycle of things, because you just don't have that cycle anymore. And for me, I just felt like I had to be around the sport because I'm so used to that cycle of it, and I'm so used to like the flow of off season, off during the season. All my energy and time and everything is going towards the game. And yeah, that's kind of what's beautiful about football to me. So anybody out there, I know some of my guys out there are this is probably their first year done. And like, it's something to just be aware of. It's something to be aware of, like how you're showing up every day and how you manage that energy, because it hits you hard. I've talked to other guys that did it and went through it. Like, it's a hard thing to manage, and that keeping that energy under wraps when you don't have that outlet for it. Hey, Jake, what's the word here? We got him on or no?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, still working on it.
Working on it. You want to take a quick break and see if we can get him on?
Yeah, we can work on that.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
All right. We'll be back soon.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through July 6th, enjoy all-natural whole pork butt for $1.99 per pound. Lumberjack pellets for $3.99 when you buy $25 in meat. Buy 5, get 5 free on original brat patties and beef short ribs for $6.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things.
Are you guys picking up the audio now?
What we're
Is
not
it good now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay, straight. We're good then.
over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates
Audio
Mentoring
work.
Program.
We're good to go.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're good to go now. Sterling, let's test this out. Can you hear me? I don't know if mine's working. Am I muted?
I'm good.
I can't hear him still.
You still can't hear me?
Okay, I can hear him now.
You can hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, sweet, bro.
Let's do it. Hang on, let me turn this volume up. All right, Sterling Harris, welcome on the show. I gave you a little bit. I gave you a little bit of an intro earlier, but let's.
Hey, bro, what's up,
dude? I'm out here in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's a beautiful day. It's about 80 degrees here. 6:22. We got. I did about. Well, for the first segment of the show, I kind of gave you an introduction, and then while you're having some technical difficulties, I was talking about fall camp because we got at Iowa Western. We just had the kids get back to campus, and I was just talking about fall camp and kind of the challenges of it and how to get through it. So I was talking about that kind of thing.
Yeah, bro, I was listening because, you're right. There is muscle memory that happens.
Yes.
And I remember I thought I had PTSD when I first started, my first couple years that I didn't play in the NFL or in college. I got this kind of itch in my neck. I'm like, I kind of got this twinge, and I'd be in like business meetings, want to like rip somebody's head off, and I'm like, okay, I need some therapy.
Right, like my leg. I'm in those business meetings, my leg's tapping. I'm like this, and I'm like, my eyes are wide. My leg's tapping because my body's just ready to go play football.
Yeah, bro. I'm envisioning putting the other guy that I'm negotiating with through the wall, and I'm just like, okay, this guy hasn't said anything to like trigger me or get at me or irk me, anything like that. I'm just on edge, bro. So I when you were talking about that, I was like, yes and amen. Come on.
I mean, there's only so much lifting weights you can do to get that energy out. Like it's.
Bro. I have a whole martial arts studio at my house. So I have a detached building, and we ended up building a matter of fact, before I got in here, I was putting up our gym mirrors, kind of like the last finishing touches on the gym. So it's like a full on martial arts studio. So I got like a 6 foot tall heavy bag that's bolted into the ground, so you can kick it as hard as you want. It's not going anywhere. And I got a 190-pound water bag, focus mitts. I got all the toolery and jewelry and all the stuff, bro. So if you come to my house, bro, you will get worked out.
I need to make a trip sometimes. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, bro. And then I got after I beat you up and you beat me up, we'll get in the sauna. I got a sauna too. Like I have a 3-person sauna, but me and my wife are gigantic people, so we got a 3-person sauna, knowing it was really good for one person.
You are a big dude.
Yeah,
and Sterling can put down some food now. We went to dinner. I was with him a couple weeks ago at a football camp, and we had dinner. And the first thing he did was order like 7 appetizers, and we put them all away.
Yeah, bro, like bosses for real.
Yeah. So I'll just have you give a quick. So I gave you an intro, but just give like a 30-second kind of your background for the listeners.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Terrell, Texas, small country town. If you ever seen like Varsity Blues or Friday Night Lights, kind of like that whole vibe, and just grew up kind of in that big Texas football vein. And the short story is a lot of people counted me out, but Jesus counted me in. And there was this voice at the back of my mind when everybody was hating and saying, you're too big, you're too fat, you're too slow, you're too this, you're too that. There was an inner voice of the Holy Spirit that kept telling me to push it and push it and push it. And God used all kinds of things to inspire me and propel me forward. And I just decided I'm going to be the first one in the gym, the last one out. And the same people that were making fun of me, by about 4 or 5 years later, I'm all state, all American, all district, all area, and can go anywhere in the country on a Division I scholarship, and on my way to the NFL. So
that's how it goes, and it adds fuel to the fire a little bit.
Yeah, bro, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that no matter like what people say, if you feel like you have a dream inside of you, no matter what that dream is, don't let anybody ever discount your dream or tell you can't do it, because in all reality, I do have some intangibles. I'm 6'6", at the time, like 260, 270 pounds, but there's a whole bunch of people that are 6'6" in that size that, didn't put in the work that I put in, that didn't make it Division I football, or didn't even make it to Division II or Division III, didn't make football at all, or didn't want to get off the couch and just was big, big for nothing type of deal, which is perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. Just it's not just about genetics. It's about that want to. It's about that fire inside of you. It's about what drives you. What's your why, like you talked about. And right. my why was, I just felt like God had put this dream inside of me to play in the NFL and to impact people through football and through what football was afforded me, which was influence and kind of a hook. People hear NFL, they see my size. That kind of hooks them. I get the end, I get my foot in the door, and right. Then, I just give them the gospel, man. I give them the real truth about Jesus, and how it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship, and give them practical examples and give them like really fundamentals on how they can really have a live fire relationship with Jesus, man. And that's really what I've spent a lot of my life doing. And when I began to know better, I started to do better. And for the first like 10, 15 years, I just hit my head against the wall because I was just stuck in what I call churchianity. So I was just like, trying to white knuckle it, trying to do the best I could do, trying to be a good person. And, the thing about it is, without a real relationship with the Holy Spirit, man, and knowing how to hear God's voice and knowing how to press into Him, you're really just feeling around the dark, even though you got salvation and you're going to heaven and you got fire insurance, right? But you're not really living a life that's fulfilled. And that's one thing that really drove me to want to seek a deeper relationship with the Lord, because I looked around people around in my sphere of influence, they got super crazy amount of money, influence, power, authority, all those different things. And so many of them, because I knew them, they had no peace and no fulfillment in their own lives. And I just was like, there's got to be something more. And I kind of dove into the philanthropic game there for a while and did motivational speaking and did all this volunteer work, stuff like that. And that was almost worse than the partying and all the other stuff that I was doing before that, because there was still no peace there. And so I just started even diving deeper and deeper. And eventually, man, I found like a spiritual relationship with Jesus. And that's really what really transformed my life. But the short story is, like, a lot of people counted me out. Jesus counted me in, and I'm still proving people wrong to this day. So it's one of those things that you just really transition into different seasons. Football teaches you a lot. It teaches you teamwork, teaches you how to get up when you don't want to get up. It teaches you how to have self-will, how to be punctual, how to work with a team. That's why people love to hire football players or former athletes, because they know they can work with a team. They'll actually come to work on time, and they're somewhat self-starters. They're somewhat self-driven. And sports teaches you a lot of things. And I love that you talk about all kinds of things on here, but also how sports is kind of a foil for a lot of different like mindsets in life. I want my kids to play sports more for the mindset and for the mental fortitude that it will afford them, more than, what they're actually going to be able to get out of sports itself, as far as from, a professional standpoint. Although, I mean, I'm a former NFL player. My wife's a former McDonald's All-American basketball player. I mean, she's 6 foot tall. I'm almost 6'7". I mean, they got good genes. I mean, So I don't want to discount that either. I mean, they got some genetics in their favor. If they're short and stubby, bro, I don't know that happened. It's not our fault. We did what we could.
You did what you needed to do.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So I've got I'm coaching these junior college kids. They just got on campus this week, and so you talked about that. I want you to kind of speak on that phase when people are doubting you, when you don't have that momentum yet, when things are quiet, when you don't have people clapping for you. That phase when you're trying to get your career started. That phase when things are quiet. Speak on that and how you get yourself going in those times. How you get yourself moving, even when it feels like you're on an island, like you're the only one doing it.
Yeah, I would say that being like a self-starter and finding your why, like why do you want to play football? Why do you want to have this certain career? Why do you want to be married? Why do you want to be a good spouse? You need to find your why and what your overarching dream is, your vision is. The Bible says without vision, people like cast off restraint, people perish. And that's so true. If you don't see a vision, if you don't see where you're going, you'll never get there, and you won't have the leverage on yourself to will yourself and to get up every day and to take it to the limit when, like you said, things are quiet and you're not seeing necessarily, like you're in the breaking up hard ground, you're in the tilling season, you're in the watering, the planting, you're in the cultivation season that's not pretty. Like if you're talking about like farming or you're talking about gardening, you're in the stuff that's not pretty. You're not eating the fruit yet. You're doing the hard, back-breaking labor type of work. And in that kind of environment, you have to find what your why is. So I tell people, create a compelling future for yourself and begin to dream with God and dream about what kind of person you want to be, what kind of career you want to have, what kind of relationship you want to have with the Lord, what kind of relationship you want to have with those in your sphere of influence, how you want to influence the world, how you want to do, if it's in sports, if it's in whatever it is, begin to dream and create a compelling future that then you can work towards. And what you do is you say, I want to get closer to God. Okay. This is what I'm dreaming, what this looks like. I hear his voice more clearly. I'm led by his spirit more keenly. I'm walking in the things that I feel like he's innately put in my heart to do. What does that look like? Well, I need to work back and I need to put in some action steps. Okay. Well, I need to read my Bible 3 to 5 times a week, 30 minutes a day, something measurable, attainable, time sensitive. You've got to put some legs. You've got to put a plan into place, a strategy in place to implement, to get better at anything you do. As far as being a good husband or a good father, I read books. I listen to audiobooks. I go to seminars. I ask other people that have been married for a long time. I see somebody that I feel like is a good dad. Hey, man, can you give me some tips on what you think like a good father is, or what makes you a good dad? I try to ask compelling questions to other people and do some self-discovery, but also ask people that I see that, hey, I want to kind of model what they do. I want to take some pieces of what they do and ask them compelling questions and try to dig a little bit deeper and see, okay, how did you get to this place? And then I just try to reverse engineer that for myself and then make it applicable to my own season or my own vision for whatever I'm looking to be better at or be more effective at. You got to have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy and you don't have a way to implement something, that was probably one of the biggest reasons why people just float in life and they don't see the effectiveness. They don't see the breakthrough. They don't see the change, the transformation they want to see, because they're not implementing a workable strategy with action steps to achieve your overarching goal or objective.
No, that's spot on. And I think that overarching goal is kind of what helps you get up in the morning. That why, like you're saying, like having that vision of what you want life to look like, that kind of oil painting of what you want life to look like. that's a lot of the motivation, I think, that really has helped me a lot, and I think helps a lot of people, where you have this vision of what you want life to look like. And yeah, you have to plant these seeds now. You have to plant these seeds and do the hard work and the farming now in the dark when nobody's watching, so that then you can make this oil painting happen. Like you don't when you're painting, you don't paint the finishing touches first. You have to paint the base. You have to paint the things. So when you're painting, maybe at the beginning, you can't even tell what the painting is going to look like. But as you go, you have to build that foundation. You have to build that base to then work towards that vision that you have for the future.
And that's, I think that the reason so many people don't succeed is because they don't create a compelling future. They don't dream. They don't visualize where they want to be or where they want to go or who they want to be.
It's like this for a team too, where you have a team of people and everybody's got their own egos, everybody's got their own interest and their own vision of what they want their own future to be. But then when you have a team, whether it's a family, whether it's a group, a business, or a football team, you have to figure out how to get everybody on the same page and have a shared vision. Like there's an individual vision and there's like a shared vision for where are we going? What's going to bring us together? What's going to unite all these different personalities and different people together to achieve what we want to achieve together and have that vision.
100%. And you got to have a workable strategy and everyday action steps. And also you have to build culture around it. For instance, when I took over the business that I currently run, it was failing. I mean, it wasn't doing well. We were making payroll like half the time. And I came in because I felt like God was saying, go back into the business field and business world and be the hands and feet of Jesus in this certain situation. I didn't actually want to go back into the business world. I felt like I had a calling to pastoral ministry, but God had other plans. He's like, yeah, I want you to be a pastor in the marketplace. And I'm in the transportation logistics business now. And that's what I've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years. And so when I first started, I just wanted to make payroll and not go out of business and not go bankrupt and make a little bit of money. Like that was my overarching goal. The vision was if I can just get to this certain pay level, if I can get the business where it's operating in the black all year round. At first it was like, if I can just operate at 7, 8 months and we can kind of hop along for the last 3 or 4 months of the year, that'll be okay. I mean, you got to start small. You got to start realistic. I didn't say I'm just going to go out and do gangbusters the first year. It's just, that's not how you build a foundation. But the overall culture was good.
I said, you're going to get discouraged really fast if you have such high expectations and they're not met. It's like that.
And they're not realistic. And if you don't have, if it's not realistic, it's not practical. It's not going to really get done.
Right.
It's just
like not everything's going to go right the first time you do it.
100%.
It's not going.
100%.
You have to be able to adapt to circumstances, adapt to things going wrong, and not freak out and lose your vision over something happening that you didn't think would happen.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to be realistic, and everybody that's been successful has had some type of vision, taken action towards that vision. And then when things come along, they've been able to be flexible and recalibrate and recalculate and reset and come up with various strategies to help them continue on towards that goal or vision. Because you're always going to meet adversity in whatever you're doing. You're always going to have setbacks. You're always going to find stuff that doesn't work. It's like when you're doing a project around the house. You start thinking you're going to do it one way, and you start doing that one way, and you realize, wow, I've got to flex a little bit on the strategy that I first had in my mind, because now when the road is meeting the road, that strategy is not really working because of outlying circumstances I didn't take into account when I started building this or building that. That's why construction projects, especially home construction projects, usually go over budget and go over time, because you run into things because you're not a professional that you didn't foresee.
Yeah. And I mean, I think this is a quote by Thomas Edison. He made the light bulb, and he said it took him 500 tries to make the light bulb. And every try that he had, he just figured out what way not to do it.
Yeah.
That's how he thought of it. He just, every mistake, every error, everything that didn't work, that was just how to not do it. And he figured out ways to not do it.
Reframing is really important. Like how are you going to, I often say people, like if failure is not a person. It's just an event. It's something that happens. But failure didn't have to be, oh man, I failed. If you learn something from it, it can really be just a learning experience. Like, did I, like he said, he didn't fail. He just learned a way not to make a light bulb. Right. So that was one thing off his list that he could say, okay. And then he developed a strategy, and he just kept working and implementing and finding out what works and didn't work. And he ended up, boom, after 499 fails. It's just, it's just like the guy at KFC. People thought his chicken, like this whole flavor profile that he had, he took it to all these other places, and everybody else thought it was trash. And so he just basically said, well, I'm just going to open a restaurant and see what happens. And the Colonel Sanders and his folks and his family, they've done pretty good for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they've done all right. You know, they made a couple of ducats.
It takes one guy with a crazy vision and the willingness to fail to make it happen.
Yeah. And learning from those failures, like if they become learning experiences, I mean, was it really a failure or was it a learning experience? It's only a failure if you let it be. If I don't achieve at something, but I analyze in a strategic and healthy way, okay, what went wrong? What went right? What do I want to change? What do I want to keep? That so-called failure really became a learning experience. And that's how you gain wisdom, and that's how you gain different strategies. And really that's how you gain a lot of practicality in implementation in overall life. Because
no, it's true.
It's never going to go right for you. I mean, it's always things are always going to go wrong in the game of life. It's really the people that can pivot and the people that can implement various strategies and deploy various strategies somewhat rapidly, but really more succinctly, are generally those who are more successful in life, whether it be emotional intelligence within your marriage. You know, learn what not to say to your spouse. When I first got married, there was some things like I learned very quickly. My first thought is probably wrong. Let me ask the Holy Spirit how to respond to my wife. Because when you start living with somebody, bro, and they start kind of, the two have to die to become one flesh. People don't often tell you marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's also a refining fire of God. So for the two of you to become one flesh, half of each of you got to die. So that death to self, if you don't submit it to the Holy Spirit and you don't start learning what not to say or what not to do to trigger that other person or keep yourself from becoming triggered, you're not going to have a very good time those first couple of years. You need to learn. You need to learn what works and what doesn't work. Same thing with raising kids. You got to in the crazy madness that little kids are. You can't get caught up in the whirlwind. You got to be the peace that calms the storm. Yeah, if I get crazy and upset along with my 6-year-old, my 4-year-old, my 1-year-old, and I let their craziness and their whirlwind, if I don't come in with the overarching peace of dad, and I just let them get caught up in their emotional craziness and their little things they get going on between siblings, bro, that wouldn't be good parenting.
No.
But I mean, obviously, the natural human emotion, if people are going wild and they're getting on each other's name, your first emotion is to get irritated, frustrated, mad, angry.
Especially when you're used to playing football, your first reaction is to get angry because you use that. Yeah. Hey, I hate to break this flow, but I just got the message. We got to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 2-3 minutes. And then we got another about 10-15 minutes. But I hate to break the flow, but let's try to keep it going when we come back.
Sweet, bro. Let's go.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back for one more about 8 to 10 minute segment. Let's pick up where we left off. Let's pick up. So we were talking about kind of getting wisdom from other people, learning from other people, especially when it comes to parenting, when it comes to relationships, all those things. I want you to kind of pick up where you left off.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, the whole thing is that any kind of thing that you're deploying, whether it be with sports, with your career, with interpersonal relationships, in the way that you manage yourself internally, you've got to have a strategy, and you've got to begin to have a vision for how you want to feel internally, how you want to have these relationships in your life, what you want your career to look like. You have to have a compelling vision. You have to have a foundation of kind of, okay, this is kind of the strategy and the action steps that I got to take. And then you've got to measure it. You got to measure it, and you got to kind of check in and see, how am I doing? Every 3 or 4 months, I kind of look back at kind of the goals that I set for the year and the action steps that I wrote down that I was going to take. And I kind of just, helpfully measure myself on, okay, where am I on my interpersonal relationships? How am I doing with my parenting, with my kids? How are me and my wife doing? What steps have I taken towards loving her better? What steps have I taken more towards my kids as far as being more open and more available to them? What is the business looking like? How have we grown it? How have we implemented various strategies? How is the customer service with our kids? How is the interpersonal relationships with our staff going? What can we do to live more of a life of excellence within our business? And so I try to measure that at least once a quarter and kind of see what's working, what's not working, and what do I need to start doing and maybe pull back on doing. And so I think that's super important to take a measurement and to measure things and to be introspective on where you are, not over analytical, but you measure yourself.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. How do you kind of toe that line of, okay, you don't want to overthink and overanalyze everything because then you get crippled, but then you also do need to do some analysis of like, okay, what's going on? How do you kind of toe that line?
I think writing it down, if you find yourself mulling over it in your mind over and over again, you're probably in more of the over analytical stage. And if you feel like it's robbing you of your peace or it's creating anxiety, then you're also in the over analytical stage. If it's creating something that's devoid of peace, you're probably in an over analytical stage. And if you're not taking action, you find like you're more paralysis by analysis. Obviously, that's not helpful. So what I tell people to do is write it down, memorialize it in writing. It's like you're 85% more likely to achieve a goal if you write it down, if you memorialize it in writing. It's something, I don't know the exact statistic, but when I read it, I was like, bro, that's mind blowing. Like literally
hold yourself accountable.
Yes. I mean, the writing, like we used to say in football, the big eye in the sky don't lie.
It don't lie.
When you write down your goals, you write down your action steps, you write down your vision, and then you go back and look at it and you're living contrary to that, or you're making decisions that aren't supporting that holds you accountable. I mean, you can make up your own self-narrative and lie to yourself and say, well, that's not really the dream that I had, or those weren't really the goals that I said. And I said I was going to do it 3 times a week and not 5 times a week. But when you have it in writing, bro, and it's looking back at you, it holds you accountable. And you wrote this. It wasn't your wife. It wasn't your boss. You wrote this to yourself. So, I mean, you're accountable to you.
Definitely. So my next thing that I wanted to hear you speak on was your faith, because I know you're doing ministry work now. I want to hear you speak on kind of that role, how that developed in your life, how your faith developed, and where you're kind of at with it now, and kind of what you're preaching.
Yeah, so we teach like super practical, rubber meets the road type of strategies. We want to help people deploy spiritual strategies that help them connect deeper with Jesus, with the Holy Spirit, with the love of the Father. And really, we want your relationship with God to be based on a relational connection and have nothing to do with church attendance, religiosity, and religious duty or ritual. That's not what Jesus came and modeled. He modeled a intimate relationship with the Father through the empowerment of the Holy Spirit. And we really feel a call to equip and empower believers and non-believers to connect personally with the heart of God through hearing God's voice, knowing God's voice, developing an intimate relational connection with Him, and help people, like give people strategies on how to do that. So as far as like reading the Bible, like we have strategies to help you learn how to read the Bible and how to discern it and how to understand it in a contextual application to real everyday life.
Yeah, I like that. Figuring out how to take this wisdom, how to take this book that's thousands of years old, that has a lot to it, but figuring out how to apply it to 2025, figuring out how to apply it to my specific life.
Exactly. And you have to read the Bible in like context, and you say, how can this apply to my life? And you have to read the Bible under the influence of the Holy Spirit. Like every day when I read the Bible, I say, Holy Spirit, like help me if I'm listening to it on an app, or if I'm reading it in the morning, or whatever the case may be. My heart position and my actual physical prayer, oftentimes before I start reading or listening, like Holy Spirit, like help me apply this to my life. Give me wisdom so I can understand this. Because when I first started reading the Bible, I did not understand it. It was like just a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. And I was like, I really thought when I was reading it, I felt like I was like wasting my time and God's. But I knew that God said in the Word, like He said, if you like read this, if you meditate on it, like you will get closer to Him. It will impact your life in a positive way. And it's like football. Sometimes you have I need to go to practice. I need to eat right. I need to do all these things. They don't feel good. I don't feel like they're necessarily working. But then it's like kind of like when you start off season, you're not as strong. You want to work towards a certain bench weight, a certain power clean weight, whatever the case may be. But when you first start, you're like, man, like I have this goal, but man, I feel like I'm so far from there. And then when you first start, you don't feel as strong, you don't feel as fast. But then halfway into it, you start to get in this flow. You start to look back at where you were 3 or 4 or 5, 6 weeks ago, and you're like, wow, I've come a long way. But then by the end of off season, you're like feeling like an animal, and you're like, bro, I'm here. Like I'm there. I'm about to hit this.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that I saw that happen every single year, because football, obviously, people who have played football and played sports, any kind of physical sports, as you play the sport, it tears your body down. So when you go into off season, you have to rebuild your body because it's been destroyed through, basically getting in glorified car wrecks all the time for football, at least. And you have to build your body back up so you can basically go and do it all over again and get in all those car wrecks again. So it's really, I saw that dichotomy every year, and that's kind of also how life is. You're going to start, when you first start doing something, you're not very good at it. I mean, that's nobody. I mean, Jordan wasn't very good when he started playing basketball either. And I'm sure LeBron James wasn't LeBron James when he first started. Everybody has a learning curve to go through, no matter their giftedness and whatever it might be. Everybody that is great at something has put in an enormous amount of effort, repetition, intentionality, and whatever they're doing. For us, we're really about helping people implement and hear God's voice. For instance, like when I say hear God's voice, I'm not talking about a big booming voice. I tell people, who's the person you talk to the most? The answer to, if any study you look at, no matter if it's Christian or if it's secular, non-secular, whoever it is, by volume, no study that I've ever seen disproves this, that by volume you talk to yourself internally the most you talk to anybody. So internal communication by volume is basically is the person you communicate with the most is yourself. So if you're made in the image of God, wouldn't it make sense that by volume that he communicated with you also internally? For us, it looks like we teach it, and kind of basically God speaks to you in 3 different categories that are all kind of combined together. So the first one would be inner auditory. So people say, something told me to do this, or a voice in the back of my mind told me to do this. What are they saying? They're not saying it's God's voice. What they're saying is something wiser than me. They're acknowledging something outside of their own conscience kind of came into their conscience and spoke a wisdom that was probably counterintuitive to what they felt or what they were thinking in their own soul. I've seen it to so many people that actually has been the voice of God your whole life, that God has been speaking to you your whole life. You just didn't have the language, context, practical definitions, or awareness to know it was him.
100%. That's a great way to leave off the show. That was fantastic.
Well, praise the Lord.
He's giving me the music, so we got to be done. He's telling me we got to be done, but I wish we could keep going. But thanks for joining us, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, bro. We'll be back for part 2.
We'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to have you. All right.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we